good judgment to hang out with Charles Manson, which is a great idea to be friends with Charles Manson.
Everybody you could hang out with on the Sunset Strip.
That seems all right.
Yeah. Seems like a good dude.
And him and Neil Young was hanging out with him too. So it was another.
He was
got a good judgment.
Intertwined with all that stuff, right? He has some songwriter credits for the Beach Boys, doesn't he?
Who,
they
Charles Manson?
One, yeah.
Did they really give him one? Wow.
You know that there
was 2 songs I think he stole from the Beach Boys stole from Charles Manson.
Wow.
Yeah, and they switched around. You know, there's a Pixies thing with that. It's Wave of Mutilation. It's because I think it was called Cease to Resist. Or Cease to Exist.
And the Pixies.
Yes, Pixies. But I think the song, the Manson song was called, I think it was something like Cease to Exist.
I think his was Cease to Resist. Yeah.
And then they changed it and they changed the words. They made it like a love song, basically.
Pretty cool.
And that's where the Pixies got the opening line of that song.
Wow. See, if somebody had shown him that kind of attention back then, he would. I
know.
Well, he auditioned for the Monkees, and if he got the Monkees, none of the motors would have happened.
I mean, which monkey would he like? Peter? Tito. You would get Tito monkey. Tito. No, I just love like Davy Jones, Mike, Mickey, and then just a guy that's just like
and Manson.
Yeah, just carving a swastika.
With a swastika on his forehead.
Yeah. It's like the Yoko Ono of the Monkees.
It's just those quick cutaways where it's just the like police chasing them like in like one hotel hallway door and out.
Somebody's commenting that Guns N' Roses has a Manson cover on the Spaghetti Incident. But we don't count that, right? Because that was after slashing them left, right? The Spaghetti Incident, wasn't that afterwards? Wasn't that just
Spaghetti Incident was still
we're still slashing them?
That was still slashing them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was
before Chinese Democracy.
Oh, that's the one I'm thinking. I'm thinking of Chinese Democracy. Okay.
Well, and I do remember that Axl would wear a Charles Manson t-shirt like before it was like
and he also wore a shirt that said AIDS kills dead, because Axl was another guy with good judgment.
Axl, really a
little rough around the edges, that guy.
Yeah.
You imagine you go to your closet. What shirt did I wear? Should I go with the polo? Should I go with the button up?
Yeah.
I'm going with the AIDS kills dead shirt. I got a christening to go to later.
Yeah. Wearing that at a christening would be a bold move.
And he's still an icon. He's still out there selling out stadiums. I guess cancel culture doesn't always work. Apparently not.
Yeah. Everything that happens on the Sunset Strip, man. Manson, him,
yeah. Jim Morrison was like the normal guy who came out of the Sunset Strip. He was the
nerd of the group.
What a geek!
Then there's those guys, the Hollywood Vampires. You know the Hollywood Vampires?
Oh, the John Lennon.
John Lennon.
He started a drinking club. Yeah. John Lennon, Ringo, Harry Nilsson, Alice Cooper. What's his name? Mickey Dolenz and Keith Moon. Yeah.
There's a movie I highly recommend it. It's on YouTube. I think it's called The Son of Dracula, and it was from like 1973.
You guys did an episode on that, right?
Yes, and it is the worst movie.
And Ringo's in it, and Keith Moon.
Ringo's in it just for a little bit, and even what's his name from Bonham is in it just for a second. But it's Harry Nilsson plays the son of Dracula.
Wait, what?
Harry Nilsson plays the son of Dracula. Ringo plays Merlin the wizard, because that's a thing in Dracula's world. It's the craziest, most coked up movie.
Here's
ever.
the thing.
YouTube, you can watch it.
Whoa.
It's awful.
If you read about Harry Nilsson, the son of Dracula probably had better manners than Harry Nilsson did. That's the thing. Harry Nilsson was the craziest fuck ever.
Yeah,
he was out of. That's the reason John Lennon moved back to New York to get away, because he said, if I hang out with Harry Nilsson, I'm going to be dead.
Wow. Oh, I didn't know
Harry
that.
Nilsson was crazy. He died. He was only like 50 or something. He was in his 50s when he died.
Yeah,
because of all the abuse he did to his body.
Yeah.
He was crazy, Harry Nilsson.
Yeah, they would just go on for days.
Oh, they got bodily thrown out of the Troubadour, the two of them, for heckling the Smothers Brothers. Heckling the Smothers Brothers. And they wouldn't stop. and speaking of which, Peter Lawford is right there. He supposedly was sitting at the table with them.
Really?
And he was like mortified. It was supposedly Peter Lawford and Pam Grier were sitting. That's an ensemble. Peter Lawford, Pam Grier, Nelson and
Nelson Mandela,
Harry Nilsson, and they got thrown out bodily for. They wouldn't stop heckling the Smothers Brothers of all people.
So were they Hollywood Vampires? Was that a super group?
No, it was a drinking club. John Lennon just started a drinking club.
I thought that was a Johnny Depp band.
So it was. Johnny Depp had a band. He called them the Hollywood Vampires.
Yeah,
and named after
with Alice Cooper from the. He was with Alice Cooper, but there was a drinking club that John Lennon started.
Okay.
And they had a private room upstairs, the Troubadour. They could stay up there, or they could come down with depending on what. Because John Lennon was spending so much money, they let him do whatever he wanted to do. he had all that Beatle money, and they let him do whatever he wanted to do.
You just rent a room at a club. That's pretty crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we had that kind of money. You could get Hollywood vampires. Geez, that awesome. There's Albert Brooks tried to hang out with him for a while.
Really?
But he was like sober.
Just like couldn't hang.
Because so one night he's driving in the car. He's driving, and Lennon and Nilsson are in the car with him. And he tells him, "Yeah, my new comedy album just came out." They said, "Well, go over to the record store. We'll get some." They go in, and John Lennon buys like 50 copies of the vinyl album. They get in the car. They start driving down the Sunset Strip, and Nilsson and Lennon are opening the albums, taking them out, and flinging them out the window like frisbees.
Oh my
and
God.
Albert Brooks was shitting himself that they were going to kill somebody. They were just throwing the vinyl albums at the moving car like frisbees.
Oh
And he said, "I can't hang with these rock stars anymore. They're crazy."
That's wild.
That's all I want. John Lennon, they called it his lost weekend. He went out there for like a year and a half to Los Angeles and went crazy. John Lennon in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Comedy Train.